The story began with a high school student named Alex. The school planned a study trip to Paris. As Alex packed his luggage at home, a small incident happened. Alex wanted to keep his dad's old luggage tag from a previous trip. His mom asked why. Alex replied it was for good luck, but then, the night before the trip, Alex didn't sleep very well. He vaguely heard someone calling his name, but when he opened his eyes, nothing was there. In the next scene, the clock showed the time as 1:80, which matched the flight number 180 Alex was about to board. After arriving at the airport, a missionary handed Alex a flyer, telling him, "Death is not the end." Then Alex checked in. The staff member said the flight departure was at 9:25, exactly the same as Alex's birthday. It implied something deeper. Your birth time might also be your death time. Next, we met the other passengers traveling with Alex. The one in the hat was Billy. The guy pushing him was Carter. The one wearing sunglasses was Todd. The girl kissing Carter was his girlfriend, Terry. Lastly, we saw Clear. Clear accidentally dropped her book. Alex picked it up for her. Coincidentally, the page showed a photo of Princess Diana's fatal car crash. After that, Todd and Alex went to the bathroom together. At that moment, the airport speakers played John Denver's Leaving on a Jet Plane. Ironically, John Denver died in a plane crash. Before Alex could think much about it, it was boarding time. After getting onto the plane, strange things began to happen one after another. A baby in the front row wouldn't stop crying. 2 female classmates wanted Alex to switch seats. Alex agreed and moved next to Todd. Suddenly, the tray table in front fell open. Alex checked and saw that the latch was broken. Soon, the plane took off. During the climb, the plane shook slightly, but the turbulence quickly stopped, and everything seemed fine. Just as everyone sighed with relief, the entire plane started shaking violently. Sparks flew everywhere. The left cabin door exploded. 2 unfortunate students were sucked out of the plane. The plane lost power and plunged rapidly downward. Then it turned out everything was just a dream, but the dream was terrifyingly realistic. Alex was sweating and panicked. He rushed to Todd's seat and found the tray table latch really was broken. Alex realized something was wrong and started shouting, insisting the plane was going to crash. His unusual behavior angered Carter, a guy known for his short temper. Carter immediately tried to punch Alex, causing chaos on board. To prevent further delay, the flight attendants dragged several people off the plane. Ultimately, Alex, Carter, Terry, and their teacher Luton left the plane. Then Todd decided to check on Alex. After some hesitation, Clear also got off the plane. Because they caused a disturbance, the staff refused to let them reboard, but other students were still on the plane. Teacher Luton had to let another teacher take charge. They would catch the next flight and reunite later. Just then, Alex kept talking about the dream he had. Carter listened, clearly annoyed. They started arguing again, trading insults and blows. At that moment, Billy looked out the window. Suddenly, a massive explosion ripped through the sky. The plane exploded midair, just as Alex had foreseen. Everyone stood stunned at what they'd just seen. 2 FBI agents, Lina and Shrek, quickly arrived at the airport. They questioned the 7 people who'd gotten off the plane. They were suspicious of Alex's vision, but they couldn't find any proof against him. A month quickly passed by. The school held a memorial service for the students who died. All 7 survivors, including Alex, attended, but the other 6 survivors treated Alex very differently. Carter still showed open hostility toward him. Teacher Luton refused to talk with him at all. Billy's reaction was interesting, though. He said he'd just passed his driver's test, barely, and his instructor joked he'd die young. Billy anxiously checked with Alex if this was true, obviously believing Alex was some kind of prophet. Todd and Alex had always gotten along well. Clear was especially grateful to Alex, saying that he saved her life. Despite all this, Alex still had unanswered questions. He kept wondering why he'd foreseen the danger, so he started doing research, hoping to find some logical explanation. One night, an owl suddenly landed by Alex's window. He threw the magazine in his hand without thinking. The magazine flew straight into the spinning fan blades, shredding it into pieces. One piece landed on his leg, showing the name Todd. Meanwhile, something terrible was really happening to Todd. A strange gust of wind blew into Todd's bathroom, causing the door to shut by itself. Water began leaking from the toilet tank, spreading slowly toward Todd's feet. Todd was shaving and accidentally nicked himself. At that moment, a dark shadow flashed in the mirror. Todd turned around quickly, but nothing was there. The radio in his room started playing news about the plane crash. Todd didn't want to hear it, so he unplugged the radio. Then he turned toward the bathtub to collect some clothes drying above. Right at that moment, the leaking water reached his feet. Todd slipped badly, falling headfirst into the bathtub. The clothesline tangled tightly around his neck, hanging him helplessly in the tub. In the end, he choked to death. Alex had a bad feeling and went to Todd's house, but he arrived too late. All he could do was watch helplessly as Todd's body was carried away. Then Alex noticed Clear at the scene. Clear warned him to leave immediately. Todd's death had attracted the FBI's attention. If Alex was seen there, he'd only become more suspicious. The next day, Alex found Clear. He asked why she'd gone to Todd's house the night before. Clear replied that she, like Alex, had sensed danger too. Suddenly, Alex had an idea. From the plane explosion to Todd's bizarre death, these events couldn't be mere coincidence. But he still had no real clue. If only he could see Todd once more. Clear had a solution. Late at night, Alex and Clear secretly sneaked into the funeral home. They entered the morgue and found Todd's body. Just then, a mysterious coroner named Bloodworth appeared, revealing a shocking secret. Bloodworth explained that Alex's vision had disrupted Death's plan. Now, Death was returning to claim each survivor, one by one, in the exact order they were supposed to die on the plane. After hearing Bloodworth's words, Alex realized something frightening. Just as the missionary had said, death is not the end. They were still very much on Death's list. Coincidentally, the 6 survivors happened to meet again. Alex shared his theory with the others, but Carter didn't buy it at all. Another argument quickly erupted between them. Finally, Terry had enough. She yelled, "Why are you two still fighting about this? Waste your own time, I'm moving on." Suddenly, Terry was killed in a freak accident, perfectly confirming Alex's prediction. Even the order of their deaths seemed carefully planned. According to official reports, Flight 180 exploded due to an electrical short circuit. If matched to their seat locations, Todd should have died first, then Terry, and next was Teacher Luton. Knowing this, Alex decided to warn Luton. But Luton had always found Alex a little creepy. Seeing him suspiciously watching her house, she called the police right away. After police took Alex away, another eerie gust of wind blew through Luton's home. Luton saw a dark reflection in her kettle. Then her stove flame went out for no reason. Luton panicked, accidentally spilling hot water from her cup. To calm down, she decided to drink some vodka. But the sudden temperature change cracked the glass. Vodka began dripping onto the computer monitor. It short-circuited, sparking smoke, and exploded right in her face. Shards of glass stabbed her neck. The monitor fire spread along the vodka spilled on the floor toward the kitchen. Luton fell, reaching desperately for a towel to stop the bleeding. But as she grabbed the towel, she was stabbed by a falling knife. At that exact moment, Alex, freshly released from the police station, arrived at Luton's house. Right then, the stove exploded again. A chair fell onto Luton, killing her instantly. Alex rushed out of the house and collided with Billy, who just happened to be passing by. 3 deadly incidents had now occurred. The 4 remaining survivors were all terrified. Now they were sitting together in Carter's car. They asked Alex who was next. Alex replied, "It doesn't matter who's next. We're all on the same list." Carter still refused to believe this. He parked his car right on the railroad tracks, daring fate to kill him. But as a train approached, Carter suddenly changed his mind. He tried to get out, but his seatbelt jammed. At the last possible second, Alex heroically saved Carter from the car. They believed they'd beaten Death, but just as they started to celebrate, a piece of debris from Carter's car flew into the air and sliced Billy's head clean off. Death's sequence was now disrupted, but it wasn't finished yet. Next on the list was Alex, and finally Clear. To cheat Death, Alex hid in a remote cabin in the woods. He nailed all the windows shut, covered every sharp object, and thought of every possible danger. He even wore gloves just to open a can. At this point, Alex thought he'd finally outsmarted Death. He felt ready for a long fight. But then, he accidentally glanced at an old newspaper article and realized something terrible. In his original vision, 2 classmates had swapped seats with him. But since he'd gotten off the plane early, he'd never actually switched seats. That meant Clear was the next target on Death's list. Alex rushed out of the cabin, trying desperately to warn Clear, but the police showed up at that exact moment. As soon as Alex saw them, he took off running. Meanwhile, Clear was already facing serious danger. A lightning bolt struck the power lines. Her dog started barking frantically in fear. Clear rushed outside to rescue the dog but slipped, falling just as an antenna crashed beside her. The antenna punctured a nearby water tank, but luckily Clear reacted quickly, escaping into her car. Right then, Alex finally arrived. Clear was trapped inside the car, with live electric wires surrounding it. She couldn't get out without being electrocuted. Alex, in a panic, accidentally started a fire near the car. Realizing Clear was about to die, Alex decided to sacrifice himself. He grabbed the electric cable with his bare hands, giving Clear a chance to safely exit the car. Alex was electrocuted, but somehow survived. 6 months later, Alex, Clear, and Carter traveled to Paris together, celebrating their survival. It seemed they had finally escaped death. Nothing strange had happened in a while, yet Alex still had unanswered questions. He saved Carter, so Death skipped Carter and killed Billy instead. Then he saved Clear, so Death should have come for Alex next. But Alex survived, even though nobody had saved him. How could this be explained? Carter didn't take this too seriously. He joked, "Maybe you're next anyway. It could just be a cycle." Right then, a street performer behind them started singing a John Denver song. Immediately, a chain of strange events began to unfold. Alex realized something was wrong and decided to return to the hotel alone. Suddenly, a bus accident caused a large sign to swing loose. Alex dodged it thanks to Carter pushing him aside, but as it swung back, the sign struck and killed Carter instead.